It's a big week in the Big South, and we're ready for another edition of On the Edge. I'm Mark Bryant. Thank you for joining us for another week of On the Edge, the viewer's guide to the online video source of the Big South Conference, Big South Edge, presented by State Farm, available on BigSouthSports.com. And the big story, of course, the Advanced Auto Parts Men's Basketball Championship for 2009 underway. And we had our winners on Tuesday, the top four seeds. So the top four seeds all will be in Radford for the semifinals. And while we're not streaming the semifinals as we did the quarterfinals, we do have something special to offer. And that is when you are done watching the games on ESPNU, check in on the Edge. Because we'll have the post-game interviews, the post-game press conferences, live from the media room at the Dedman Center in Radford after each of the semifinal games. So VMI and Liberty will play, and we'll have live interviews after that, and then Radford and Asheville will play, and again we'll have those. And then the same will be true on Saturday after the final. The final will air on ESPN2. The semis, ESPNU. The final game, ESPN2. And, of course, the final location will depend on who the winners in the semis are. The higher remaining seed will get to be the host for the final. If Radford wins, they know they host. And for VMI or Liberty, they're going to have to hope Asheville wins for them to have an opportunity. But we'll know all that on Thursday night. So moving on from men's basketball and the big finish for that season as we get ready to go dancing. Let's also talk about women's basketball because this is the end of the regular season for women's play this week, and then it's tourney time for that. And all the women's tournament games will be streamed on the Edge, and those will be available next week. So we'll talk about that in the next edition. But the closing games of the regular season are here, and it starts Thursday night, 7 o'clock game for Coastal and Gardner-Webb. Friday, a trio of games. Now, obviously, they were trying to avoid Saturday because when we were scheduling, didn't know who would have the men's games on Saturday. So instead of closing out on Saturday with a full slate, you got Friday games, you got Monday games. Friday is a trio of games: Charleston Southern at Presbyterian, Liberty at Radford, classic rivals there. In fact, they own all but two of the Big South titles in women's basketball for the history of the conference. And they'll be playing each other a week before the tournament. It's a big clash of rivals there. So Liberty at Radford and Asheville at Winthrop. Their men's teams, of course, collided in the postseason this year, but their women's teams will play Friday at 7. All those games at 7 o'clock. And then Monday, all three of these at 7 o'clock. You've got Coastal at Presbyterian, Liberty at High Point, and Charleston Southern at Winthrop. So that closes out the women's slate. While we're talking about the championship runs here in men's and women's play, we also have something special for you to look for. If you haven't heard about the mascot dance video, this is a tease. I'll tell you how to find it before we're done here on the Edge. Let's skip over from women's basketball to softball for just a moment. Because we've got a few offerings here, and in fact, some interesting ones. Bonuses. You can get a lot for your money this week because we've got Friday the 6th, the Charleston Southern Low Country Invitational, and this is a 5-for-1 deal because UNC Wilmington, Lipscomb, North Carolina A&T, and Charleston Southern are playing a round robin, and we'll have 5 games on Friday the 6th, and then 5 games on Saturday the 7th, and that will be the conclusion of the round robin, and then on into bracket play. Each day is $4.95. A single game subscription gets you all 5 games for each day. So $4.95 for Friday, and again $4.95 for Saturday. But each it comes out to $1 a game if you want to watch all the softball in the CSU Low Country Invitational. And just because Charleston Southern can't get enough softball this week, we've got a doubleheader. They've got ETSU coming in Monday for a twin bill, again, for the price of one game. That's a noon start there. And softball, naturally, we transition to baseball, and we've got a lot this week on the diamond in the Big South. Starting Wednesday the 4th, ETSU. We see them come through again, and this time it's Winthrop, 3 o'clock. Citadel at Coastal Carolina, 4 o'clock Wednesday. Thursday, ACC comes to Big South. Duke at High Point is a 4 o'clock start. And we've got Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. Yeah, the old IPFW at Coastal Carolina. That's a 6 o'clock start on Thursday. Friday, a pair of games, an early conference series, which is very interesting. We've got Winthrop at High Point, 4 o'clock, and then a doubleheader, Coastal Carolina facing Albany, and then Stony Brook. Those times approximately 5 and 8, so a split doubleheader for Coastal. And that's not all we've got for baseball. We move on to Saturday, continuing the Winthrop High Point series. They'll start at 2 on Saturday. Creighton, the Blue Jays, and the Chanticleers, 3 o'clock on Saturday. Sunday, Winthrop and High Point finish their 3-game set. That's a 1 o'clock start. And Stony Brook at Coastal Carolina at 2 o'clock. Of course, you may remember Stony Brook, an associate member of the Big South in football, getting a taste of the Big South in baseball. And they're going to the top for Big South in baseball. Coastal Carolina, of course, perennial power out of the Big South in the hardball and on the diamond there for Coastal Carolina. So that's a 2 o'clock start. Moving on, no one's playing Monday, but Tuesday, the 9th, Creighton at Coastal again, and then Wake Forest at Winthrop should be an entertaining matchup again. ACC meeting Big South in baseball. And one thing to remember when you're subscribing, as always, you can buy full year or by the season. You get a spring pass and get all the baseball and softball together. Or you can go by the sport, get all your baseball or all your softball. And that also holds true in the other seasons when we get around to football and soccer and so on. You can also order by the game. And all these games are available individually. For baseball, we do have an interesting additional wrinkle. We have a baseball weekly pass, which is new this year. For really the price of 2 games, you get all the games in a given week. So they run from Tuesday through the following Monday, because typically Monday is an off day or at least an overhang day for weekend series that may carry over. So a lot of times they'll be off on Monday. So we carry that Tuesday through Monday, and $9.95 gets you the whole week, which is a good deal for those who are not looking to subscribe for the whole season but want more than one game. So I told you we would talk about dancing mascots. Let's talk about dancing mascots. There's some places you can find them. You can see that on our blog, BigSouthShout.blogspot.com. It's the March 2nd entry, has that video. You can also see it, a free video playing not only on the blog, but on our main site, BigSouthSports.com. You can look for it on demand in the Edge. You won't see it on our YouTube channel right now, but you will see all of our best of the best videos on our YouTube channel, YouTube Big South Sports. So look for it on the blog, look for it on demand on BigSouthSports.com. It's our mascot showing us that at this time of year, everybody wants to dance. Remind you that if you're having any technical problems or questions, you want the Fan Support Center of Jump TV, our web and streaming host, fansupport@jumptvinc.com. You can also give them a call at 877-967-3267. If you have any questions for me or something about our website or our On the Edge feature, our videos, what have you, you can contact me, Mark B. at BigSouth.org. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, by the year, by the season, by the sport, by the game, you want to look for the Edge at BigSouthSports.com. I thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you again next week.